Hello, I'm Cranberry Landers. This is the second video I've done today. And as I promised in the previous video where I was discussing J-Bot Vasquez's Berserker Ashcan, I'm going to be discussing the Lost Pages by Zaid Comics, Lost Pages 3, and yeah, Lost Pages 3. And I will be discussing or reviewing Lost Pages Tome. So, yeah, so I'm really excited about both of these. I did not get in on the on Lost Pages 1 and 2 or on Mythos Mythos of Lost Pages, the the not quite third volume. So so I got the tome to catch up on that, and so without further ado, I'm going to get into reviewing Lost Pages 3. First, I'm going to go backwards because that's how I got into this. I got the third book first, I think. Well, first things first, I kind of want to. It came with some extras, some goodies, like a sweet metallic. I don't know if you can make it out. Sweet metallic card. You can see the shine of Krim's hair and tats and everything, and yeah, that's pretty cool. Yes, I am. I am feeling it today. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, so it's got this sweet like little trading card. On the back it shows Crimstone, Tiger Blue, and Reaper Destroyer. So some comics that you can purchase, get into if you wish. Some other independent comics from the Comics Gate field, and the card, the poker card, the king that the Zaid brothers were discussing. They were talking about putting into the books with Krim on it. That's a really sweet image. And it's got a nice design on the back. And it also came with a poster or a print, which is sweet, which will be going on my wall because it's just too good not to. So it's one of the covers. It's the cover that I have by, let's see if I can make it so you can see it. It's the cover I have by Dan Dahl and Shelby, who did the inks. Eugene Betivu did the colors, and they are great colors, by the way. They're great colors, so I imagine they used the same guys for the covers, or I mean for the print. All right. I also came with some other goodies. I should say the book goes for I think about $25, so it's a good deal, a really good deal. It's 60 plus pages for Lost Pages 3, and so that's a good deal for me. That's competitive with, or that is around the same price for I think for regular, for like the big two, for like DC, or maybe more expensive, another maybe like Image or something. And they have this creature, kind of like they used to have these stickers that you could get at like stores and everything, which are like kind of gangstery stickers. And it looks like that's one of the big baddies from the comics, from the Lost Pages comic, only done in a more cartoony style, maybe like a tattoo-y-ish style. Yeah. And we have another card, Lost Pages animated series with Crimstone. So it's another card done in the style of like a 90s or so cartoon, a little bit more, maybe a little more 2000s ish. And it also comes a um, with a bookmark, a double-sided bookmark here with two awesome images on it. So I don't know. Does that help? Does this help things? Thanks. The light's not great. Lighting isn't great in here, but it's awesome. Well, I got The Lost Pages 3. Um, and the feel of the book is awesome. It is again like matte. I would expect it to be more glossy on the front, uh, like a glossy cover, but it isn't. And I actually really like, and the cover seems substantial. I really like the feel of it. And the back cover also looks sweet. Yeah, yeah. The bookmarks are great. Nice addition. It's kind of like a freebie, you know. Um, a little extra, a little more extra value for what you have. You can put it somewhere. Um, Mark just brought up that um, Mark's Music Obsession, who has a channel by the way, um, brought up that he's got um, bookmarks and he likes them. It's a nice addition. Yeah, I would agree. I really like the cover. So what you have here is um, you have Krim, the uh, uh, uh. You have Krim, the imaginary friend of Jazz, uh, Jasmine Stone, who is another main character, and she has the power to manifest her. I don't know if it's a spoiler. She has the power to manifest things into reality, and then you also have the silhouette right here, who's been in previous Lost Pages books. Where's the lighting? There's good light. This guy right there. And you also have what's his name? Matt Black, who I have no idea about. Again, I haven't read any of the books prior to actually getting these. I wanted to, but I did not, because I was Poe, uh, or I was Poe. But it always looked like great value. The art style, at least on the cover, is kind of like 90s kind of comics and everything. The ladies look like ladies. The men, or the imagination men, and the real man, they look like actual men. Masculine, fighty, punchy guys. It's great. Um, this seems like I'm treating this with less respect, but actually, I'm really into this. The colors look amazing. Great job, Eugene. The inks for the cover, at least, look great. Great job, Shelby. So, American Discord, who you can find on YouTube. And then Dan Dahl did the pencils, and again, it came out great. The interiors, I'll just say before I get into it, the interiors are done by Ricardo Jaime, and Dan Dahl did the silhouette portion of the book, which I believe is the first portion of Lost Pages 3. And the colors again done by Eugene. And yeah, so I'll just get into it. I don't want to spoil stuff, but I think the Zaid Bros and the creators are okay with it. Yeah. So it gives an intro to the previous books with the great image at the outset of Jazz, of Jasmine shredding a poor unfortunate's face open. and Krim in the background, looming large, kind of like a Hulk image. Um, the layout of the panels on the first page, well, the actual first page of the comic, um, like the story, uh, it is awesome. It is great panel design or positioning. Um, the weapons that Matte Black has, so she can currently create weapons out of weapons that she wants to from her powers. Um, and it looks awesome, like a dagger. It kind of reminds me of Venom or Carnage. You can generate images. Um, great opening splash page, like second page in, and it's already kicking it off. Already very exciting for the silhouette. Um, I like the blacks. I like the colors, even though it's mostly black. Um, it's really done well. It's got some realism to it. I like the motif. Now it's stuck with it. There's a flashback. I don't know how to do this. I don't feel like spoiling everything here, and I'm gonna try to be fast. There seems to be some interactions between Silhouette and Matte Black, kind of sussing each other out, uh, um, going into their past or whatever. Um, yeah, kind of, kind of reminds me of the relationship between, uh, kind of reminds me of a relationship between Spider-Man and uh, Black Cat, and how they have kind of like an enemy love-hate relationship. The Zaid brothers know how to draw women, which is nice, and old men apparently. Nice crotchety old homeless dude looking guy right there, which is great. Um, and also they put in one of the alternate covers, I believe, on the interior. So if you missed the chance to get one of the covers, you can still see it in your own book, whichever book you have. It's pretty sweet. Um, yeah, they have flashbacks, and then I think this is so. I think it's the first 10 pages or so, which goes into the story of Silhouette, and then after that, it gets into the story proper, with again a flashback. Silhouette had kind of a black and white flashback for one of the characters, for Matte Black, I believe, and this one is going into uh, this flashback is going into Jazz and Krim. I think I'm not selling this very well. It's really interesting. It's already got my attention. It's picking it up. It's kind of like Spider-Man comics, how you get a glimpse of the everyday, like you get a glimpse of him working. Sometimes it'll be in the middle of a fight, but other times it just shows kind of like in a lull, and then it builds up the action, which it seems to be doing. Um, great, great colors, great interior art. Um, it's not made for little children, I'm guessing, which is good. I mean, if you're not looking for that, I like the. I really like the. I like the design of Krim. Uh, I like the design of Krim. He's a cool looking character. Um, and I also like his speech bubbles. So whoever did the lettering, the guy or gal who did the lettering did a great job. It's interesting. Um, and I think it was shown that he was coming out of a wall, so like a graffitied wall. She was spray painting at the beginning of the book. Yeah, but anyways, his speech bubbles or thought bubbles or whatever are they are How do I get rid of the glare here? They have like dripping coming down, like it was spray painted, like uh, like his thoughts and words were spray painted, which is cool. Um, Another splash page. It's like a half of the page, the upper half. Yeah, a lot of action. Small children holding the main character, which is good. You know, the hero has to, or heroine has to be dependable. Have the children uh, actually depend on them. I think you're getting introduced to a big baddie who looks big and bad. Kind of reminds me of Kingpin. Um, I don't know his name though. Yeah, and um, yeah, it's really cool. It looks like it's interesting. It looks like Phil Diaz built out the characters and he built out the world, which is cool. Um, the I like the veininess and musculature on Krim. It's kind of and the other men, it's impressive. You kind of want someone who's able to bust through walls and smash through and rip open vans and stuff and vehicles. You want them to have the muscle to back it up, unless they're really superpowered or something. Yeah, have sad things. I'm really liking the splash pages here in the book. Uh, they are impressive. Um, I think I think the people who the guys who worked on this, I think Phil and Brandon and uh, uh, it just has that professional touch, and it shows that the people who are writing this and creating it really love and are into comics. Like they have a history with comics and they know their stuff about it. Great paneling. They did they did a trick where come on. They did a trick where you have the environment. So they're in a cage battle. They're doing like a cage battle like WWF or WWE. And what they did was they broke up they created separate panels by using the ropes in the cage or in the ring, which is cool. I also appreciate that the characters, each character has a motif. They have a color scheme, and they're easily identifiable that way. So you can see you see one character as like green, another character as blue, purple. Um, you know, this dude, he's got kind of like a patriotic American cowboy African motif. Red, blue, yellow, white. Yeah. Drongo. Drongo. Reminds me of what's his name? The enemy of Spider-Man. Kraven the Hunter. Reminds me of Kraven the Hunter a little bit. Yeah, so flashbacks. I really like the effects that are happening. So you have these bold yellow colors. You can't really see it that well, and I don't think it picks it up. I don't think it conveys like the colors and how kind of powerful they are, potent they are, but they really stand out, especially for like the effects, like lightning and everything, venom and everything, acid, etc. But the action, it's just action packed. It's got lots of heavy violence, um, entertaining. Do you like the Amazing Spider-Man number 50 pick you use? Speaking of Kingpin, I do. I do. I like many Spider-Man covers. Mark is asking about what I think of this. This right here, this cover, yes, it's iconic. It's wonderful. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Spider-Man. I've read it throughout my life. My I do, I mean, do oh you do. Oh, good. Yes, sorry. Yeah, I do as well. It is awesome. It is a great book. Spider-Man has a lot of development, a lot of story, a lot of good story in those years. Uh, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Spider-Man. At least until they made him, you know, bi and everything, wearing dresses and whatnot. I'm not into that, so I lost track. I stopped reading it. Yeah, you have build up of some characters, histories. You have baddies giving their plans, threatening people. I have a bunch, and that's good. So you're building it up, making the enemies more impressive, getting them ready to fight. Wow. And another wonderful image. I have a bunch of old comics, way more than newer stuff. I am picky about style and color. Good choice. I have I like the older comics. I stopped really picking up Marvel and DC and Image, Dark Horse around 2011 or maybe 13 or something. 2013, 14. I stopped picking up books. The only books that I've purchased, the only comics I've been purchasing since then have been the majority have been independent comics. Um, so CG and just other independent comics, stuff by Odin Dasco and um, Broken Compass Comics and everybody else. I've just been picking up them, and outside of that, the only stuff I've been getting has been older comics, older like mm, 2015 or something, and previous, and then manga. So I read Japanese and Korean comics. um, Other kind of splash page, enemy reveal, or it might be a new enemy, but at least it's a great looking one. I really like the teeth on Krim. His look reminds me a mix of the Hulk and Pit. Um, Pit, I guess, was always Pit was always close to um, close to the image of the Hulk. A little scarier, maybe not. Uh, I really like the characters. I really like the character designs. Um, right here, I like the characters that they're introducing. I think they look interesting. They don't have the same look, and um, they're not really generic, which is great. If you have an enemy, I kind of want them to stand out in some way, stand out in your mind, and I don't want them to be what you'd read at like a generic kind of no thought Marvel DC background character or whatever. Hey, Got Blade, what's up? How you doing? This is my channel. I'm reviewing The Lost Pages 3 by Zaid Comics, and I'm also reviewing Lost Pages Tome, which collects Lost Pages 1, 2, and Mythos or Myths of Lost Pages, which is great. It's in kind of a manga style in grayscale. The myths, um, the Mark saying hi. The The Myths one is in grayscale, so what you get from like a manga or manhwa, and but um, the Lost Pages 1, 2, and Myths of Lost Pages and Lost Pages 3 were all fully colored. This one is fully colored with wonderful colors by Eugene Bativu. Bativu. Yeah. So I really like the character designs. They're great. They really stand out. And even the static shots, or even the shots where there's not really action happening, because of where the characters are and the positioning of the because of where the characters are, the positioning of the characters on the page. It's not even the non-action pages aren't static, or at least they're not boring, which is great. Comics, you kind of want there to be a ramping up, or some energy with them. I guess this guy would be like one of the worst villains for people who hate this guy right here. I think he'd be like one of the worst villains for those who hate pineapple on their pizza. There's a guy who also hates pineapple on his pizza. You can see he's glaring, and he has the image, the reflection of the pineapple man in his glasses. Which again, the people who hate pineapple on the pizza, they would identify. I missed the music part. Sorry. Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. You're missing the music part? I'm every woman. It's all in me. There you go. In case you're missing it, I thought I'd give you some musical. I'm just messing with you. Yeah. So it's again a great character design. Weird, weird pineapple man. He obviously does. I'm guessing he doesn't have a sunny disposition. He's probably a little sour. He might be sweet as well. And he might he might be. Never mind. Never mind. I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop before other people flee. Wait. Hang on. Wait. He's acidic. He's not. He's sweet. Sometimes a little sour. And I don't know. He's tangy. Is the zest of life? I don't know. Yeah. I really like this character. So the big baddie. What's his name? Shoot. I should know his name. Big baddie, the green guy, who's got the Irish looking dude with the where is it? Nice. This green guy right here, he's like wearing a suit of he's wearing a suit like a green kind of monster or whatever. And the design of the monster is that it's got like eyes in the mouth. He's got eyes in his mouth, which kind of reminds me of like a mollusk, or I forget what it's called. But there's this one shellfish that has a bunch of eyes, just like as a ringing around the inside of its mouth or whatever, below its shells. These little eyeballs sticking up. The pineapple has to be cold on a hot pizza. That seems uncomfortable with me. I'm a little uncomfortable with that. But different strokes for different folks. And then he also has so he has eyes where his mouth is. Come on. Eyes where his mouth is. The interior of his mouth, where his teeth would be. And then he also has the same character has a tiny ring of teeth where his eyes would be, or set around one of his larger eyes. It's really interesting. The beer has to be cold too. Yes. There are many people who prefer a cold beer with their pies, their pizza pies. Great action page. I'm gonna try to get through this. It looks like for Krim that his tattoos change depending on what he wants to say, um, or what he's thinking, which is really cool. So it's kind of a living graffiti, living tattoos. Like right here, it says Clash right there, Clash, and it's great. It's kind of like a letterer and like a character design, inks, pencils combined with the lettering. The same kind of contrast, salty and sweet, hot and cold, and cold and hot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nice. I like I do like a mix, sweet and sour chicken. Uh, yeah, sweet and savory. I did this. I made kind of fake stir fry or fake fried rice, and I used pork belly and I think like syrup, like maple syrup. I used with it, so it was very salty and it had that sweetness to it. Um, but a great peanut butter chocolate. Yeah, the bitterness of the chocolate, sweetness, the peanut butter. Great splash page. It's cool. So you have Krim and this other dude. Uh, Krim and this other dude. I don't know the name of this character. If you can make it out, I think I want to bend the pages here. Um, but kind of reminds me of uh, maybe Onslaught. Maybe Onslaught, the character that was the combination between Magneto and Professor Xavier. So you have Krim and this dude fighting in as the big splash page, and then below it you actually have Jazz and this other guy fighting in the lower portion. I get that. I get that. Gotblade. Pineapple is definitely better cold. We'll have to try it that way. Yeah, yeah, it's good. Let someone who is let someone who is also going to try, let them know how that works out. It's the same dude. So the Mohawk dude is the one who's fighting Jazz. So the green guy without the green suit, the green kind of venomy suit, and some great action scenes. People tearing off pieces of the enemies and shoving it into them like horns and stuff, like breaking off the antler of an ox and jabbing it into the ox. It's really sweet. Uh, really reminds me of like the Hulk fighting people. Um, yeah. And it also has uh, Jazz looks like powering up everything. I love it when a character develops. If you're thinking, oh, this is kind of their status quo. This is kind of like the furthest they get, and they're not going to develop more. I always like a surprise. I like to see characters kind of level up and get more powerful. And it looks like you can see that in the book, uh, character progression and stuff. And I'm not going to show that page off too much longer, but it looks like both. Looks like the enemies and the superheroes. It's kind of like what is it? What is it? The hero's journey? I forget what it's called. But like you you come up to an insurmountable enemy, like an enemy you can't defeat, or an insurmountable obstacle, and you run up against it, and then your main character, your hero, has to progress beyond that, and that's interesting. That's good character development. That's good story. Modern comics, modern Marvel, DC comics, they don't seem to get that. They don't seem to have that. interesting character progression. And it doesn't always have to be like significant. It can be a small thing, but I like that Phil Diaz and the other creators. Well, I like that Phil Diaz is actually going there and is actually um, progressing the characters within the books. So something to draw you in and kind of give you a taste, you know, something to um, something to whet your appetite for further books, you know, grab your interest. Um, I like that there's a shift. So again, there's panels by using environmental effects and stuff, using the environment to create separation panels. So the smoke, it's really great. And I like the gray motif colors. Um, yeah, it's great action. I'm gonna stop saying great. It's good, really good. Joseph Campbell, familiar. I forget who he is. The Hero's Journey. Oh, okay. Hero's Journey. It's good. Yeah, very action packed. You know, um, something that I'm seeing in this book, in the Lost Pages, at least in Lost Pages 3, is that there is action pretty much page to page and throughout the book. Something that I've seen with those who create graphic novels or who do like a larger format comic, and they aren't compilation. Yeah, yeah, with Luke, and maybe Han, maybe a bunch of them. Some, especially Han. I wonder about Darth Vader. Anyways, something that those who create like graphic novel sized comic stories, comic books, they when they're putting it all out at once, they seem to forget or not be aware of the fact that something that draws readers to comics and something that they enjoy, I mean, it depends on the reader, but something that they enjoy is maintaining that high action, maintaining that speed, that action coming over and over again. Single issues or floppies, they actually have those arcs you're talking about, Gotblade. Those arcs where, you know, there's an arc, there's a peak, there's a climax, and then goes down. You know, it builds, and then there's a climax, and there's action in those, and there's action that usually ends the book, ends the single issue to draw you into, or a moment of suspense which draws you into the next issue. So there's a lot of excitement. There's something to carry over, and something that they do when they put out like a larger book all at once without the single issues is that they think, oh, I can do a larger form. I can do a format which has like a slower pace. And the thing is, people who read comics, at least a certain percentage of the clientele, me being one, like there to be that quick pace of action. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sweet. Are you talking about Phil? Phil? The but something that I'm seeing in this book in the Lost Pages 3 at least is that Phil and the artists are actually maintaining that breakneck speed action, which I love and which draws me into the comic, which makes me invested and not get bored like midway through the book. So that's really cool. And you're also seeing kind of hints about the characters. Something that's interesting to me is like the internal dynamic, the mentality of a character, say Spider-Man, not knowing, having stories where they focus on Spider-Man slash Peter Parker, not knowing where the Spider-Man persona and the Peter Parker persona or personalities, where they mesh, where they merge, and what the differentiation is between each of those aspects of a person. um, each of those aspects of a person. And it seems like Phil's actually really getting into that aspect of the comic and of a character, and how you're seeing not only external pressures, external attacks and drama, but you're also seeing internal stuff where you can see the development, you can see the conflict and internal conflict and development of mentally and personality wise uh, for the character and their development, which is cool. I like to see action, but I also like to see, you know, I also like to see if there's some other. I also like to see, you know, personal development. I don't know, internal stuff. The creation of Batman was that journey of a creator. Cool. Is it Gil Kane? Is that the creator of Batman? Um, yeah. The guys who are working on this book, no, no offense to the ladies, okay? Ladies are attractive, all right? They know how to draw ladies, okay? That's the thing, all right? I don't like to look at Captain Marvel, aka ex Miss Marvel, looking like a dude or a half dude, if you know what I'm saying. I don't like that. It's not something that my eyes appreciate looking at. Women are women are works of art. Humans are works of art. I like to look at uh, nice looking stuff, you know, nice looking characters. And I think no, I haven't reached the end. Um, but another thing I really like about this book is that if you miss one of the covers, it looks like you can also get alternative color covers. Vitality. I don't remember what I was talking about. Yeah, but you can also get the other covers as well. So it's like if you miss one, you can actually get those as well. I don't know the time. I don't know the time this takes place, but people are still reading newspapers, and I appreciate that. That's something I always liked about comics in the past. You could see something in print. Yeah, I really like the design of Matt Black. Um, and at the end, you have the introduction of another character. But and you also have some fan art. So the book is ended, but you also have some fan art here. You have character bios in the back, which is awesome. I love this stuff. I love going in depth into characters and seeing like their powers, kind of like the Marvel encyclopedias and stuff, where they gave like power rankings and abilities and physical characteristics. I really love that, and so that's what they have in this book as well. In addition to in addition to the fan art, which they added to the book, they added to the not compilation, but to the Lost Pages 3. They also show some, I think, character design stuff, so alternatives and potential character designs, designs for the characters in the book, which is really cool. I love seeing that. I think Shanth also did something like that in the back of his Nosfero the Crypt Walker book, which he put out, which he's also doing a campaign for right now. I think he's doing an art only version, or he's doing a second chance campaign for that. But he also showed like character designs and pages which he wasn't using, but it's really cool. And also some of these pages are colored. Some of these character designs and you know, options are colored. in the back. Um, this book, and it also shows, this is really great. It also shows their other books, the Zaid Comics title or publisher. It contains their other books that they're putting out, and kind of an ad, so you can see what you're missing out of this book, what you're missing out of the series, and you can buy it. I think this book is very well rounded. It has, I haven't read it yet, so the writing, it could be, I doubt it is, but the writing could be. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know. But from what I've seen from this, it has everything that I like about comics in here, and things that I miss about um, Marvel, DC. Kind of a respect for the readers as well. Um, I like to know that you want to work to please your audience and keep them engaged and give them something good, something interesting. Action, interest, intelligent story, character arcs, actual character arcs. So like the hero's journey, which you were talking about, Got Blade, earlier. I miss the hero's journey. I miss seeing character development and heroes with weaknesses. And I miss seeing like characters and people that you can identify. This is a good guy, this is a bad guy, and this is what good guys and bad guys do. So I've finished my review of Lost Pages, book 3. It looks wonderful. I would recommend people buy it. It looks great, and it looks like a good solid amount of story for the price that you're getting. So it's like 25 bucks, I think, plus shipping. But they also have a website that you can go to check out some of their other books. Zaid Comics. Actual element of danger for the hero. Yes, yes, an actual element of danger for the hero. Enemies who have a sadistic motivation to them, like sadistic side, which is great because in comics nowadays they try to make you like sympathetic villain, like, oh, he has a good heart, he has a motivation, I have to feed the children, and the children require me to become a terrorist and bomb buildings and stuff like that, and the children, and oh, my wife, I would stop trying to kill people and stop trying to destroy specific heroes, but because my wife is ill, I have to do it, and I have superpowers, but I have no way to use those in order to generate income. It just doesn't exist. Oh, poor sympathetic villain. He's virtually a hero. They're virtually heroes, by the way. The supervillains and villainesses. They also introduce some more villains, which they introduced in previous, or they don't introduce. They also showcase villains which they introduced in previous volumes in Lost Pages 3, which is great, and previous heroes. The amount of detail on the inside of this book is amazing. And so it's matte black, but it's not matte black. It's grayscale, so it's black and white, but it hasn't lost any of the details which you get with which you get in the comic. So that's wonderful. Great pacing, great layout for these pages, these panels. Great panel design, great layouts for the interiors of the panels. This would be the first book, I believe, introduction of the silhouette. A lot of black. A lot of black in the silhouette, which you would expect for silhouette. black is featuring heavily in a story about a guy who's black. Not black as in skin color, probably, but black as in he's black. It's kind of sketchy. It's kind of sketched out, the art, um, which I don't mind. Right? Um, there are their designs. There are illustration styles which um, fit, having a sketchy look. So again, depends on the story, depends on what's written, but at least the panels and the designs are engaging, very much like very much a professional level for this book. And again, this is $20. So the tome 1. So again, they're anticipating, or they're planning on doing other other editions. Tome 1. They're planning on doing other tomes. Yeah, that's pretty cheap. I mean, that's not pretty cheap. That's great value for what you have. And the tome is actually 212 pages. So 212 pages of content. The first 2 books of the Lost Pages series, and also the Myths of Lost Pages, all for $20. That is a good deal, especially if you want to catch up. So again, Lost Pages 3 was $25, so you're paying a third for you're getting 3 times the value for the price. Good night, Mark's Music Obsession. See you. Crash. Have a good one. Thanks for joining. I'll see you later in another stream. I'm going to try to get through this fast. Tome. Yes, tome is a cool word. It is. It's one of my favorites. Bye, Mark's Music Obsession. Thank you. And say hi to your mom. That sounds bad. Say hi to your mom. Hope she's doing well. And have a happy Memorial Day. Hope you guys are doing well. And so it's just you and me, guys. Now we can talk. Gotblade. Now that Mark's gone. His hair just doesn't look great. I saw what he's wearing. It looks like he only has one outfit. He's wearing the same thing day after day. I just want to. I just gotta tell you. I mean, is he really obsessed? Is he really obsessed with music? Really? I think he's more obsessed with art in general. I think it's just a genuine. I just gotta say, I'm really offended. Actually, I'm super offended. Yeah, Mark's a good guy. Anyway, so it's got first issue. Again, really detailed art. I think some of these are covers for the individual volumes. Yeah, really detailed. I want to state the names of the artists that worked on the tome. Oh, by the way, this is in digest size, so it's again like manga size. And it's heavy, by the way, so a lot of content. The art is by, let's see, Maxi Dallo, John Joe Ball. So Joe Ball worked on this in the art. Maria Lopez, Alan Alonso, Matt Dalton, Brandon Diaz. Brandon, yeah, the other Diaz brother. What's up, Brandon? Avery Butterworth, Simon Pothier, Brianne Anden, Monk, the illustrator Monk, and spelled Monk, and Kyung Lee. So great job. I haven't actually looked through it. I'll see. I'll form my opinion. I like this art style. It kind of reminds me of it's very detailed, but kind of cartoony. It reminds me of, I say Arthur Adams. Reminds me of Arthur Adams work. Yeah. Is it Joe Ball? Is it Joe Ball who did the art for this one? Yep. Art by John Joseph Ball. And you have the title page with the uh, the artist, music by Alan Alonso, colors by Eugenio Betivu. I'm sorry if I got your name, pronounced your name incorrectly, but I'm more sorry that I'm missing your colors. That's my own choice, though. That's my own fault. I'm missing out. I might still buy. This is the thing. Going through this book, going through this tome, I'm actually interested, and going through the first or the third book, I'm actually really interested because of the level of quality in getting the first, second um, uh, volumes were books and the myths of Lost Pages. Great detail, great action. A guy getting choked out right here. Yeah. People exploding. I love a good explosion. People dying, being incinerated, as you can see right here. Very very entertaining. People being dismembered. Awesome looking enemies. I'm guessing an enemy. Guy looks bad. Guy looks bad. Bad as in cool, and bad as in he's gonna kill people. Bad. Yeah, but it also has some imagery that is not for children. At least not in the United States or London or England or Canada, I believe. Consequences. That's consequences. It's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture, and the consequence of you being on a boat that I'm exploding is that you die. That's your own fault. I just gotta say, you should expect that. Okay. Actually, it's your fault for being on the boat. It's your own fault. Okay. When you're dying and someone with superpowers is just whoop. Okay. Someone is destroying. Here we go. Or someone's destroying your book or boat. It's your own fault. You have great character designs. Can't really see. I don't want to hurt the pages or the spine. You have some good character designs for good guys. Yeah, so it looks like this is opening with the past, or at least a time when people were sailing on sailboats, hard boats. Great graphics. I'm really missing, I think, the colors. I think I'm really missing the colors for how do I do it? I think I'm really missing the colors for these pages. That's unfortunate, but it's great. Again, it's a nice thing that the Diaz brothers did. It's a nice thing that Zaid Comics did, enabling people who missed out on the first, second, third campaigns to be able to get everything together. So that was very considerate of them. And it's great. It's actually one of the pluses of a size like this is it can go in like a bag or in some kind of luggage, and you can take it around with you, and it's easy to carry with you, and you might not damage the book as much as if you had like a full size comic or whatever. And I think you have the introduction of Krim and or the first appearance of Krim and Jazz. How else am I going to find out what my superpowers are? You can go to a library. You can go to like a. You can go to like a range, practice there. You know, you can do target practice. You could go to a quarry. I see lots of movies and shows where people shoot their powers off in quarries, usually in Canadian quarries, so a lot of gravel around. That's where people do it there. It's kind of a cartoony style. You could also, you could study at a library. You can go to like a playground, playground when there aren't children around. Children around. You could also go to a ballpark and like shoot off your explodey explosion kind of powers and stuff. That's where you could do it. But getting blown up sounds cooler. See, you think the blowing up is cool, right? Your body being involved in that is less cool. It's just not as fun. It's literally not cool. Literally, because it's an explosion, which releases heat. So, that's just your own thing. It's kind of a cartoony art style. Reminds me of early Image Comics or independent comics, which I've read. If all your friends, by the way, if all your friends were blowing up, would you blow up too? I don't think so. I don't think you want to do that. You also have maybe the mother of Jazz, and the mother of Jazz, and some of the rough upbringing that she has. Good character development. Looking around for fingers that didn't crawl back yet. Again, it's only fun if you know that your fingers will crawl back, or your limbs will regenerate. They will reattach themselves and you will be whole after it happens. If you don't know about that prior to, I just think that's poor planning. And what you really need to do is just create you need to have a good plan, set aside that you can institute to know, okay, I lose this many limbs come back. How much of my flesh can I actually lose, which will regenerate, safely? It's just the crow. How many crows will grow back off of your body if you lose a limb? Yeah, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I know The Crow. I've never read The Crow or watched the movie, so it's kind of sacrilegious, I guess. But I think, but yeah, I imagine he has some kind of regenerative abilities. Seeing as I missed the first Crow, I want to. The thing that I will do to understand it better is I'm actually going to watch the new one coming out. That skinny dude, that skinny kid. I think that will be the best jumping off point in order to know the Crow best and to have a good kind of outline understanding of the Crow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. The first one. The first one this year. I know what you're talking about. Yes. Yes. That's what you're saying? Yes. Yes, I will definitely do that. I'm going to watch this one that comes out and not watch the other one and not read any of the comics. No. I think you're wrong. I'm just telling you, the best method is to go for the earliest, the earliest one, and then go to the previous ones if you do it at all. I don't even think I need to go to the previous one. All right, the one where Brandon Lee died on the set. I don't think I need to go for that one, and nobody likes that movie anyways. All those people who say they like that movie, they're just lying. They're just making stuff up. Anyways, yes, I know. There were squibs or whatever. He had the gun. It was pointed at the guy, and I think they didn't clear out the. They put the fake bullets or whatever into the gun after they fired the initial one, after they fired the initial shot, and it still had fragments from the previous shot within the barrel or whatever, within the gun. And so what happened was when they fired it out again, that shrapnel came out, and that hit him in the chest. And they found out that gun safety is important, and that you need to clear your weapon prior to doing stuff. Oh, that's cool. That's awesome. It shows jazz. If you have digital painting, that's awesome. I am less confident in my art. It shows jazz. I'll try to rush through this. It shows jazz. She's buff. She's doing weightlifting and stuff. You have a female character who's muscular and who still looks like a woman. So that's nice. You can do that. They don't always have to look like She-Hulk in 2023, 2022 or something, where they made her look like a dude. Yeah, and I think they have the introduction of the green guy in this book. Great splash pages. Again, the grayscale doesn't diminish kind of the details. It doesn't diminish the details in the book. It doesn't diminish them. So you can still have appreciation of the art. Then you have a more cartoony version. I'm not sure if this is part of the Lost Pages proper, 1 and 2, volume 1 and 2, or if this is part of the Myths of the Lost Pages. Introduction of a baddie, big baddie, right here. That guy. I think it's the Mask. Masque. I think. Not sure. Masquerade. Masquerade. I was close. Not really confident in my own art. I can't do. I can do realism, or at least I could, like years ago. Can't do cartooniness. Great audience. I'm not even. And they're showcasing the powers, the abilities of Masquerade and Enemy, which makes it really good. I don't like it when an enemy shows like a certain limited amount of power and they're in a situation where they would use something more powerful, but then they suddenly jump to some kind of crazy ability later, or the same ability that's way overpowered in the next one. And so there's not consistency, or there's not really power scaling that goes on with it. But yeah, if I did watch The Crow, I would watch. By the way, I would watch the first one if I watched The Crow. I would want to see it. I've always been interested in it, but something said not to watch it. Masquerade is a bad guy. It's nice to know that a bad guy is a bad guy. It's not like Cyclops who has becomes like Magneto after he gets rejected by Professor X or whoever. Yeah, kind of an animated, like a Saturday morning cartoon style, but heavy action, violence. Great interior pages showing the covers or alternative color covers, fan art. Not sure for these books. It's awesome. And that would be Myths of the Lost Pages. So I think that's it. I think this is the first one. I don't know if it's shared to. I don't know if it's allowed to share a link to my painting. I don't know either. I don't know. I don't have any moderators. I don't know if I can. I don't know how to do that. Let's see. I don't see how to do that. Blame Shanth. Got Blade, I'll just say blame Shanth. or blame Shanth or Michael Bancroft. They're both terrible human beings, and it's all their fault. My lack of knowledge is their fault. My lack of understanding, it's all them. So if you blame anybody for not letting you share a link, it's obviously them. So I think this book is the silhouette. So it gives an overview of the silhouette. Is probably his powers, origin, I'm guessing. It's just like a 2-page story, 3-page story, and then it introduces another character, Wildcard, who I believe is a bad guy. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Wildcard's might be a good guy. But introduction of him, Crimstone, introduction of Crimstone. So this is just, I think it's just an outline, or these are just ways to catch up on the characters and get to know them for the Lost Pages books. Give overviews, a way to get acquainted with them if you don't have the books or if you're missing one of the volumes. People, if you're missing one of the volumes or if you're missing a part of their story, you can catch up, which is awesome. Great pages, great introductions. The people look sweet, great images. The pianist looks gorgeous, nice, but she's also wearing a girdle, I believe. And you don't wear those on the outside. That's something you don't do. So this superhero book is not it's not accurate as far as it's not like in line with fashion, you know. Maybe for the Met Gala, but not for like normal society. So she's doing that. She's wearing it incorrectly. But she does know how to slit people's throats open. She does know how to slit people's throats open, and that is something that you need to know how to do. She knows how to do that well. So she's, you know, people are a mixed bag. Some people have, you know, talents and weaknesses. Everybody has a talent and weakness. Her talent would be slitting throats. Her weakness would be not knowing that the girdle goes on the inside of the clothes and not on the outside. I won't hold it to her though. You know, I'm not gonna. That's not something I would call her out on. As long as she's, you know, killing bad guys and doing it in, you know, a good way, consistently, with less trouble. I think that corset. Thank you. And it wasn't necessary corset. So she's wearing a corset, and she's wearing it on the outside. Thank you, Godblade. I appreciate that. I forgot. It's either girdle or corset or both. Thank you for your correction. That would have bothered me actually going forward. But she's killing people and she knows how to do that. So I'm really happy that she knows how to do that. I mean, that's a talent, something that she can use in the future. When and where to use a corset doesn't really hurt you. It might actually be a boon to you in certain situations, in some fields of work. Vane is another character. For some reason, it makes me think of Zaid. Yeah. It's a good character. It kind of reminds me of like a combo of maybe like Cable and there's that one character who had the black and gray, like goatee in, I think it's DC Comics. It might have been a Batman villain. Selene in Underworld wears one as part of her Death Dealer outfit. See, and that's one of the vocations where wearing a corset on the exterior is actually a boon. It's actually a great job. I have not watched any of the Underworld series. Don't yell at me. Don't yell at me. Okay. Pity me. Okay. Forgive me. Forgive me. I haven't watched it. My brother watched it, said it's wonderful. So, yeah. Um, big guns, big guys, big brawny, violent guys. It's really cool. Uh, Drift Legend reminds me of a. Here's another character, another myth of the Lost Pages. Here we go. Drift Legend reminds me of like a Japanese comic, like Moomin Rider or whatever, like one of those characters. Mega Man, not Mega Man. I forget. They're coming out with like I think a new movie or a Netflix series or something, starring one of the well-known heroes from Japan. Kind of like in the line of he fights kaiju. It's kind of like in line with one of like Godzilla or whatever, like one of those guys who fights the big monsters. The first one is good. The first Underworld. I believe you. If I watched one, I would think I would try to watch the entire series, the entire run. And this is done in the manga style. I know because I recognize the characters, the letters. That's Kya or Gua, Guaya. I think that's yelling. It's Ga actually puts it, subtitles it right there. Ga. And then some other characters. Kiru. So like Skur. Yeah. Yeah, so this is done in like a manga style. So manga style book with some manga style characters with characters that look like Bill Nye. Bill Nye who? Bill Nye the Science? Not Bill Nye the Science Guy. Am I thinking of another character? Or am I thinking of a character? Yeah, this is kind of like in the style of a manga. The art style of a manga. Then you have Matt Black, not M-A-T-T Black, like a guy. This isn't one of those books. It's not like a modern Marvel or DC book, Matt Black, but this is a character. Zaid brothers, the artists, they know, they do good looking women. Yeah. And great panels. I'm actually a fan of like this style and the coloring or the lack of color. An actor. I don't know who that is. Bill Nye. I don't know who that is. I mostly memorize faces. This is great. I really love the style of this. The layout. It's kind of like an American manga style, kind of a blend for Black Matte. For Black Matte, it's kind of like a blend of or an American manga style, which I like. It's kind of like a cartoony, leans cartoony, but his Western is in the action. It's pretty heavy, and there's more detail. The octopus, I know it's not for every manga, but general. The octopus face pirates. Oh, he's in those movies in the Underworld series. Bill Nye. He is a great. He's a great actor. He is wonderful. I wish I see him more. I would see him in more stuff. Masquerade. There's quite a few. So the Lost Myths of the Lost Pages have quite a few of these intros. They have quite a few of these short stories, these character overviews. which is great. And he is an enemy, I think. I think Masquerade is a bad guy, but the character, like the Joker, is interesting to me. Like seeing him develop. It's one of those characters you love to hate, I guess. If they turned over a new leaf, they'd be interesting. There was a storyline. There's a couple storylines where the Joker actually put on a top hat and a black mask, and he actually became a superhero, and he was like one of the best ones out there. He was like saving the world level, amazing genius. They don't really play it. I think Masquerade's kind of in that line. Yeah, excellent actor. Yes, I agree, very much so. And we have whole generations of great actors who are not being seen, not utilized, and we are lacking due to that. Something they're not willing to do. So Lost Pages 2. So it looks like it starts with the Lost Pages. So it has the Lost Pages is the first book in the tome, in Lost Pages tome. Then you have Myths of Lost Pages. So you have the character introductions and overviews, short stories, ways to get introduced. And then it has Lost Pages 2 as, I believe, the last book, which is like a third of the book. Great cover. Great cover for Lost Pages 2. That's the silhouette, and I forget this guy's name. I forget his name. I think he has like gold powers or something. Great opening shot or opening page of Crim right there. Full page. Story getting introduced. Jazz, the one who can summon or who has the ability to generate Crim, being introduced. Nice action scene, to get you started. Sweet double page splash page to get you going. Sweet. I really like Crim. I think him and the silhouette, like two of my favorite character designs out of Lost Pages, out of Phil and out of Zaid Comics, out of their books. Although some of the characters from Myths of the Lost Pages, their character designs were awesome too. It looks like it's introducing the big baddie. Guy with the skull for the skull for his mask. Looks like someone in the military. And then it switches up the art style from more realistic to cartoony, kind of bare bones one. El Dorado is his name. So it introduces El Dorado. Performing some witchcraft. And showing up of silhouette. I've always liked the idea of a hero with kind of shadow-based powers. Kind of reminds me of what's his name? The pulp hero, Phantom. I think he can blend in with shadows, but I like, and there's also Cloak from Marvel who has like shadow-based powers, and like he can create. He's linked to a dark dimension, which he can transport himself, which he can go into and transport others into and out of in different places. But I really like that they're utilizing a character like Silhouette having similar abilities. Really action packed and a big moment. So like when a superhero or a villain gets their powers, it's great to me when they have like a big bombastic like intro and transformation from some other criminal or a bystander to um, a big time criminal. Yeah, just really, um, it's really cool. It stands out in your mind. It really just stands out. And it's the kind of thing which you would um, you would recall later on as you're reading the books or in the future is something that kind of draws you back, links you back to that character in that story. Those panels, those images, which is great. It shows that they're accounting for that. I don't know if consciously, but whoever's doing the art or Phil, whoever, the guys who were working on this and gals, the ones who were doing this, they're either conscious of it or instinctually know that that is something which you need, like Peter Parker getting bit by the spider on his hand. You know, it's an iconic image and it sticks with you, something that your mind goes back to years later, which is great. It ties you to the story. It ties you in something to refer to. Just another great image. Yeah, great black and white. It's the great design, seeing the shadows of the blinds playing across the characters and in the shots in the panels. Silhouette looking like a regular superhero. Impressive guy. Cool. Uh, yeah. People ending up not doing great after their meeting with El Dorado and stuff. Great splashes or um, great panels. Yeah, it's just really, it's really good, really engaging. The action, it's action throughout, draws you in. It's not overkill. It also has, they're making sure that the story elements are there, and that again, even if the action isn't there, if it's not action, it's still engaging, still interesting, even in some of the story building kind of points. I mean, action can be story building, but in the straight story building, great panels, a lot of action, a lot of transfer of energy. You're picking up on the energy. This guy getting kicked in the face, like drop kicked in the face. That's great, and it's yeah. I don't know. I haven't tried it. It's that explosion thing again. I haven't tried being blown up, and I haven't been drop kicked in the face yet. It might be a really lovely, pleasing, comfortable experience. I don't know. I haven't directly experienced it, like one on one. I haven't personally experienced it. And I haven't talked to people who've been blown up that frequently. So, I'm just going off of stories, and that's just rumor, really. That's just hearsay. So if somebody gets blown up, I personally haven't had that direct experience, and it could just be blown out of proportion. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying? So you got to try new things, is what I'm saying. Bottom line, it's a life experience. Why limit yourself? Do you know what I'm saying? Why limit yourself to some experiences and not to others? I mean, people don't brag about really good things in their life. Some people keep it secret because they don't want other people to enjoy it as well. They want to kind of corner the market on some of these things. And so, like, getting blown up, getting drop kicked in the face, getting, an elbow or a pile drive to the face, those, getting acid burn poured on you, all good, lovely experiences, I'm sure. And I'm missing out on them. So all these other people are getting those experiences, and I'm just hitting here. Okay. I'm sure it's one of them. I'm sure it wins out even better than a nice lollipop, nice lollipop and like a mint chocolate chip ice cream, as Joe Biden would say. I'm sure it's just wonderful. Nice El Dorado face silhouette. Images, their face. Not bust. It wouldn't be their bust, but seeing their faces. Um, uh, these are kind of heroes and villains, which I would expect to see later on in the series. Um, I would expect to see them, play out, recur. And it seems like with some of these characters, the Zaid brothers actually leaving it open for future installments, not paying everything off or not showcasing them later on. If you don't see someone die in the book, if you don't see them dead, and even sometimes when you do, it's not guaranteed that they stay dead. And speaking of an explosion, see another explosion. You see the person's mouth is open wide. And again, that says to me, happy, like I'm excited. Oh, I'm in an explosion. Wow. What a wonderful time. It's so lovely and fantastic here. I'm not going to tell anybody else about this. So it's all mine. I should say that when I pass gas in public, you got to try new things. You haven't tried passing gas? Yeah, it's something that you need to do. It's good for you. In public, it depends on the venue, depends on where you're at. I imagine some places are not as good as others. Oh, of course, I could be trying to rain on your parade, could be trying to corner the market on there, but probably not in like daycare centers, at funerals. Probably not the best places, but other places it could be great. Yeah, good comedic effect. At a dinner party with friends, interviews. I mean, it could break the ice. Breaking wind and breaking ice all at the same time. This isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't a good topic. It's not a good place for the conversation to be going. Got played. I blame you. I blame you as well as Mark's music obsession and Jonathan. Anybody else. Rocky Ballesteros, Michael Bancroft. It's all their fault. And of course, Trump. Trump is one of the worst. I blame everything on him. I have a tooth that's crooked. Also his fault. They would be the ones trying something new. Yes. Correct. They would be, depending on how often you try it. If you know them, it might be old hat. It could be very old news. You're sorry? Well, if you've done something, I don't know. I don't have that experience. And I'm seeing a book here. A book. I'm not sure if this is the Lost Pages, but it seems pretty good. There's an old guy who looks homeless. Looks familiar to me from Lost Pages 3. And a crazy, gorgeous vertical splash page of Krim doing something, doing a lovely new experience for someone in the next page. And it looks like one of the other characters who shows up in Lost Pages 3, who's in like who's in the Krim jazz storyline. So this is a direct predecessor, or this did come directly prior to Lost Pages 3. So it's a direct tie-in, and it does carry over directly from this story. So it connects one to the other, which is cool. Also, a little hint of another bad guy there. It's winding down, you know, story, and you see where the third volume, Lost Pages 3, picks up. You're also picking up with that, with Silhouette again showing up, and Matte Black. Matte Black showing up again with Silhouette. The next page. Again, gorgeous. This is like this is industry level art and page design, page layouts, the lettering. If the coloring was here, I'd probably say the same thing. I know the Lost Pages 2, the cover, I think it had like gold foil or something on it. It was great. It can't rain all of the time. I'm not catching it. I'm not catching what you're saying. I'm not. And again, they have it has the other books, the other Zaid comics books, which you can get. You can get at their website, or you can, I think, maybe still get them in their campaigns. But that is the end of Lost Pages Tome 1. So I did an overview of Lost Pages, book 3, and some of the goodies that came out of that, and Lost Pages Tome, which includes, I should do that backwards. I read Lost Pages 3, so I covered that. Great art, great content, great page layout, good energy, great colors. And I did that, and I also reviewed Lost Pages Tome 1, which is a compilation of Lost Pages 1, 2, and Myths of the Lost Pages. It seems like you don't want to lose out on this opportunity of getting the Lost Pages. If you do, you might be a loser if you don't get it. But this is great. I think it's a great value. I would, art-wise, story pacing-wise, I think I would put it up with Marvel, put it up against Marvel, DC, Image. It looks great, and I'm looking forward to actually reading these and showing them off to people if I can. Showing them off to people, maybe getting them to read it. I am surprised. I'm grateful, and I'm gratefully surprised that this was above my expectations. And I saw the art before, but actually going through the books, the pages, I'm actually really impressed. And I do see the crow comment. I I agree. It is nice, Godblade. It does seem like a great quality, and I would, yeah, I would recommend it. I do not feel like it was a poor choice, poor purchase getting these. I will probably watch The Crow. I'll watch The Crow for you. I'll watch The Crow for you. You shared something with me at that dinner party. You just let me have something new, a new experience, a lovely, wonderful experience that filled me up on the inside, my lungs mostly. And I want to reciprocate that. So I'm going to watch The Crow. You know, one good turn deserves another. That deserves another. So that's my review of the books and some of the other content that they have. Zaid Comics, Zaid Bros, and everybody who worked on it. Congratulations! It looks great. And it looks wonderful. And thank you for putting something out like that. I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to end this. I'm actually really happy, and I have I have one book out of the three or out of the four, and so my set doesn't match. I have one tome, and I have just one of the volumes of the other ones. So I probably should get the other three volumes. Thank you, Gotblade. Thanks, Mark's. Thank you, Mark's Music Obsession, and maybe Mark's Music Obsession's mom, and whoever else joined and whoever else views this. It's a great book, fun times. Gotblade bestowed upon me some information, some knowledge that I can now share with other people. I can share a new experience with other people now, and it was just really fun. Have a good night, Gotblade. Have a good night, everybody else. Anybody else who watches this, have a good day, good night, and I'll say goodbye. Subscribe if you want to, like if you want to, share if you want to. It's a good book, and consider picking those up. Thanks again, and I'll say good night. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody.